Ice Cube, because Ice Cube has come out and given everybody some brutal truth. Sorry, Angel Reese, the $5 million offer was only for Caitlin.
Angel Reese was humiliated by Ice Cube without even raising his voice. TMZ questioned him about why he gave Caitlin Clark $5 million to play in the Big Three, but not Angel Reese when they got him at LAX. His response was terrible, calculating, and frigid. It's not charity. Our goal is to turn a profit. Boom. The discussion comes to an end there. Not even a call, not a single offer. Why? Because despite all the publicity, Angel Reese doesn't generate any income. Not merchandise, not tickets.
Angel Reese, would you think she could ball out? You know, she's pretty solid, you know?
Yeah, she's a great player. No, the thing with Caitlin Clark, it was just to unlock millions of dollars for the league because of her stardom.
What everyone in the sports world was thinking was said by Ice Cube. Angel Reese has never been, and is not Caitlin Clark. Let's go back in time. The Big Three League's founder, Ice Cube, came out with a $5 million offer for Caitlin Clark. However, this wasn't merely a hyperbolic publicity gimmick. This was a significant financial commitment. $10 million spread over 2 seasons, 50% of merchandise, league stock, and a 7-figure documentary contract for 10 games are all included. Did you hear correctly? 2 postseason appearances and 8 regular season games. Each game is worth $500,000. Why? Due to Caitlin Clark's track record as a magnet. If she were the second coming of Jordan, she moves numbers, fills venues, records ratings, and fans yell her name. Ice Cube went crazy after realizing the potential. It has nothing to do with gender. Fairness wasn't the issue. ROI, or return on investment, was the focus. Clark brings more than simply hype. She adds warmth. She is selling out venues from Iowa to Indiana more quickly than Ticketmaster can fulfill orders. After winning a national championship, Angel Reese is still unable to fill half of an LSU arena. Ice Cube followed the advice of astute businesspeople. The money led him, and the only player worth placing a wager on was Caitlin Clark. When the news broke about that offer, the sports media was rocked. You know what it verified, too? Angel Reese isn't the only female basketball player who is revolutionizing the sport. So, the big question is now being asked by TMZ. Why didn't you extend the same offer to Angel Reese, Jakob? His answer was business logic encased in ruthless truth. Like the WNBA, we do not enjoy the luxury of subsidies. Players who can ensure revenue are what we need. Angel Reese's translation is, ain't it? Cube had no intention of being impolite. He was being honest. And it stings a lot when you've been told you're a superstar by the media for 2 years in a row. However, let's face it, Angel's notoriety is based on a shaky foundation of viral quotations and social media noise. Her trash talk and TikTok takeovers are well known. After examining the data and KPIs, Ice Cube spoke with sponsors to find out their thoughts. Angel is not an investment for us. It's deafeningly quiet. No interest, no call, and no counteroffer. And keep this in mind before her supporters start yelling unfairness. This has nothing to do with rivalry or race. It has to do with outcomes. Those dollar signs are earned by Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese no longer makes nice headlines. She just makes news. This isn't charity, Cube said. He was serious. In reality, it's either put up or shut up. Additionally, while numbers support Caitlin Clark's star power, but Angel's is really a gaudy mirage that is becoming less and less valuable. Even though Angel Reese manages social media, it doesn't cover expenses. She has an amazing Instagram. She tweets a lot. She has viral interviews and brand deals. But consider this. Does anyone really pay to see her perform? At that point, reality sets in. Sponsors are more concerned with returns than with real estate. Additionally, Angel Reese didn't make a difference when Ice Cub's team got down to look at the numbers. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, was breaking records at every turn. Sales of jerseys, tickets, ratings, and attendance. Repossesses a lot of artificial noise, but Clark has demands from the real world. There is a distinction. To see Caitlyn, people will travel across the nation.
Not so much, Angel.
It's not hate either. The unpleasant reality is that it's a fallacy that followers are the same as fans. You might land an endorsement deal that way, but you won't keep it. Ice Cube simply expressed what the sponsors were already considering. Angel Reese isn't heat. She's hype. And if you can't perform on the court, the excitement quickly wanes in professional sports. Angel Reese just learned the hard way that social media isn't a ticket queue. Now, let's discuss timing. Chicago welcomes Caitlyn Clark like a rock star. The arena is electrified. Fans crammed into every available space. Autographs chants, complete insanity. Angel Reese. She suddenly suffers from a sore back on a daily basis. Now, injuries occur. We understand. Fans, however, were unable to ignore the synchronicity. Did her team know what was about to happen, or was she truly hurt? Since Clark was within the structure, the analogy was inevitable. Angel's camp knew she would be outdrawn in her own city, and everyone would have been watching the crowd, the noise, the enthusiasm, the merchandise sales, and the ratings. That's live television humiliation. So she sat in silence. No criticism, no remarks, just
Quiet.
Furthermore, that quiet was more audible than anything she had ever uttered.
Being overshadowed is one thing.
To disappear is another. The whispers began right away. Was she evading? Was this a tactical wound? We don't have to prove anything, even though we can't. There were poor optics. Very terrible. Because it's possible that you weren't the primary character in the first place if Caitlyn Clark can take over your city, your fan following, and your moment when you're not even on the court. The fans anointed a new queen of Chicago while she was away because the first one failed to appear. Do you recall when Angel Reese was announced as Reebok's new face? Commercials, advertisements, billboards, the full Trap Queen launch. Yes, regarding that, the campaign is already waning. According to insiders, sponsors are retreating behind the scenes. A few scheduled activations were canceled, while others were put off indefinitely.
Why?
Because the investment is not justified by the numbers. Engagement is declining. The buzz is waning. Additionally, the returns are really poor. It's not that Angel lacks skill. The problem is that she isn't translating. She was thought to be the upcoming sensation. However, a harsh reality cannot be concealed by all that branding. Slogans are not paid for by fans. They pay to attend shows. And Angel's initiative. Everything is personal. There is no manufacture. Reebok placed a wager on her image, and it appears that this wager is currently dangerous. Caitlyn Clark, meantime, didn't. To steal the show, you even need a shoe deal. She simply arrived and began to play. The cameras and fans followed, and Reebok may be wondering if they chose the wrong Barbie. Ice Cube was a forerunner. Reebok is catching on late. In any case, the message is obvious. Angel's reputation is fading. The worst part is that it's taking place right now. The person she was meant to compete with, however, continues to rise. It was a takeover when Caitlyn Clark got to Chicago, not simply a game. As if it were Game 7 of the finals, fans rushed the arena. Desperate for a peek, an autograph, a selfie, people waited in line for hours anything. The most outrageous aspect was that this wasn't even her home court. This was meant to be the city, the turf, and the trap of Angel Reese. The streets, however, cried out for Caitlyn Clark rather than Bayou Barbie. The whole atmosphere changed. Not only did Chicago embrace her, they adored her. It was being said in public. At the rack, she's MJ. The entire city was within Clark's grasp. There was no sign of Angel Ree. In the hubbub, her Reebok campaign was overlooked because Caitlyn was creating legacy, whereas Ree was promoting branding buzzwords. It was not a promotion. It was foretold. Once that weekend was over, Ice Cube didn't need to do any math. He witnessed it firsthand. Clark does more than simply fill seats. She is the owner of the space. Angel was unable to even appear to protect her domain. You cannot act like the queen while losing your trap to a visitor. Chicago made a decision. It wasn't even close. The hometown hero was meant to be Angel Ree. Rather, She was expelled, and Clark was given the keys by the crowd. Let's end the argument. Let's put an end to the illusions. Because Caitlin Clark is not only winning but also crushing the competition when it comes to hard, cold numbers. The league's best-selling jersey, attendance records at every venue she plays in, TV ratings that double or even triple, and not only at home, but also on the road. It's a tug across generations. Superstar math is that. Angel Reese isn't even included in the identical formula. She has respectable numbers, to be sure, but respectable doesn't get you $5 million from Ice Cube. Decent doesn't keep your merchandise on backorder for weeks, and it doesn't send sponsors into a frenzy. The major brands are halting because of this. Why are agencies all of a sudden quiet? Because Clark and Reese weren't even close when they were arranged on paper. Caitlin Clark is equivalent to money. Angel Reese is equivalent to a question mark. And in the business world, you pay attention when the spreadsheet tells you not to invest. That's what Ice Cube accomplished. He examined the information. After completing the ROI, he left the illusion. Despite the media's best efforts to distort it, the facts are clear and concise, and the only person worth the money is Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese is losing herself in addition to her sponsors. She will be Bubble Barbie one day. She's Double Barbie next. Then there's Barbie Chai. Barbie, I'm bound. She has more aliases than victories. She is currently dealing with a serious identity issue. It's the public meltdown kind, not the adorable kind you see in romantic comedies. The kind when the pressure of expectation causes your image to crumble. Because Angel Reese begins to disappear when Caitlin Clark isn't present. Her entire media presence has been based on rivalry, comparison, and headlines that read, versus Clark. However, what occurs when the focus changes and nobody is looking? You cannot be the antagonist in a narrative when the protagonist is not present. Fans are observing that Angel's drama appears hollow, phony, and manufactured without Clark. Now, they're asking the question aloud. Without Caitlin Clark, who is Angel Reese, it's perilous to be there. Because why should a brand invest in you if you don't know who you are? Ice Cube saw through the haze and didn't make Angel an offer. An identity based on proximity cannot be sold. You require a platform of your own. Additionally, the lease just ended, and Angel Reese is currently using borrowed influence. Ice Cube did not cast a shadow. He was not disrespectful to anybody. He simply said the truth, and it was painful. The WNBA is not this. We do not receive subsidies. We must make wise financial decisions. Boom. Just one line might be included in a textbook for business school. Favorites wasn't being played by Ice Cube. He was defending his reputation. He made a contract offer to Caitlin Clark since the sponsors promised returns. For a period. Since the figures didn't support it, he made Angel Reese no offers. Just economics, no drama, no hate. Fans of Angel Reese are unable to accept that. It wasn't personal. It has to do with money.
And you know what?
All of the big brands concur. Reebok is retreating. Since they are all examining the same reality that Ice Cube witnessed, other campaigns are being canceled. Angel Reese doesn't. Bring in the business. Profit margins cannot be contested, no matter how much you protest unfairness and injustice. Cube made the astute move after examining the projections and seeing the trajectory. Even though Angel Reese is well known on social media, that is insufficient in the actual world. Drama cannot be sold. Performance is what you sell. Additionally, Reese is currently running on fumes. Ice Cube just formally announced it. The risk is not worth it for her. This is the last scene now. Angel Reese is in a difficult situation. She can continue to chase shadows and hold on to Caitlin Clark's brilliance as if it were her own. Or, let's face it, she has the means to change course, carve out her own path, and create something genuine. She's game. She has a personality. However, she will always be a second act as long as she is attempting to be the anti-Caitlin. Hatred is not the issue here. It has to do with strategy. If you want to outshine the star, you can't win by copying them. Sponsors are running away because of this. For this reason, Ice Cube said no deal without even blinking.
They're no longer buying the act.
Angel must act quickly if she hopes to survive this moment. Remove the Barbie logo.
Stop the pranks on TikTok. Return to your basketball game.
Start acting as like it's essential to her paycheck, because it is. Her make or break moment is now. The carnival of the media is dying. The analogies are draining. Instead of responding to Caitlin Clark, it's time to be Angel Reese. Since it's obvious that Clark isn't slowing down. She sells tickets, is the league's face, and is a fan favorite. Angel will be remembered for who she wanted to surpass rather than what she accomplished unless she alters the story.